Hey, I'm Brad Staggs, and the time to prepare your home for a disaster, or a storm in this case, is long before the storm even comes close to hitting. And what does all this have to do with the baseball and your roof? You'll find out in a second. First, let's talk about the major damage that can occur to your home during a storm. And it doesn't matter if it's a tornado or a hurricane or hail, whatever the storm is, the things that are going to affect your home the most are wind and water. Those two things combined can be a total disaster for your house. Now, I travel to the Builders Show every year, look for the latest products, look for the things that can keep you and your family safe. This is a terrific product. It's called a Stormbreaker Plus window from a company called Simonton. They do incredible tests, as you see, on these windows. They shoot 2x4s literally at 33 miles an hour at these windows, and you can see they're not going through the window. The secret is in the little triple pane system here. There are 3 panes of glass in this window, so they absorb the impact of that object. Now, of course, when you are dealing with a storm, it's going to be more than likely a tree branch or some other debris flying through the air and hitting your window. But the key is the glass is essentially staying intact, and it's keeping the water from penetrating into the interior of your home, which again, then that saves the interior, the furnishings, obviously the walls, the floor coverings, which is where you really run into the problem on the other side of the cleanup. We'll talk about that in just a second. These guys even won a J.D. Power Associates Award for customer satisfaction as well. So, yeah, if I can make one recommendation, it's only deal with companies that you trust their reputation. I'm never going to tell you about companies that I don't trust, obviously. All right, baseball. Think about this. A hailstone forms in the air, 30,000 feet or so. By the time it hits the ground, it can actually grow to the size of a baseball. Maybe you've seen baseball-sized hail. The real impressive factor is when it does hit the surface, whether it's the ground or your roof, it can be traveling at 120 miles an hour. So think about what that's going to do on the surface of your roof. Now, this is some of the testing that DaVinci, the company that makes these resin roof tiles, has done. You can see the objects bounce right off the resin roof tiles. Try that with a standard asphalt shingle or something along those lines. Or even, there you go, that's exactly what happens to things like regular slate roofs. The real key here is, again, the flexibility of the resin product and the fact that this will keep that debris from penetrating your roof structure. Comes in different colors, obviously. Bella Forte is the particular name of this product. And again, this is going to keep that roof structure intact so that you don't get that water infiltration into your home and you don't get that damage. Now let's talk about what the water can do. I contacted the folks over at Servicemaster Clean. As you are aware, with the recent floods in Memphis, this is actually one of their trucks going across the bridge down there, and you can see some, obviously, the high water levels. We're no strangers to that in Nashville, of course. The tips that they have for us that I really have to pass these along to you, and remember, it's because someone did these at some point. Don't ever go into a room that was flooded if you're not 100% sure the electricity is off. All right, you have to make sure that electricity is off before you go into, obviously, any water situation. Never use a standard vacuum to try to extract water from carpet or rugs. For, again, mixing electricity and water, not a good thing. And third, make sure that you get things dried out as soon as possible. This may not be a DIY project for you either. You may have to call in the pros, like those at ServiceMaster, because you want to get the entire contents of your house, you want to get the whole house dried out within about 24 to 48 hours, because that's when we start to see that mold growth. And if you are working around any of this, make sure that you're wearing the respirator, make sure you're wearing long pants and long sleeve shirt, just to protect yourself from any waterborne dangers, or even, we're talking tetanus, things like that, when you start getting the soil involved with water and flooding situations. So take some precautions, do what you can afford, only work with companies that you trust, that you know their reputation, and on the other side of the storm, if you have to have anything rebuilt, make sure that you get those references from that contractor, make sure that you see examples of their work, and really, really work out the payment arrangements before the work starts. Best advice I can give you. And if you want any more info, go to the info you want, letter U, want.com. I'm Brad Staggs.